Alright, hello everyone, it's Blazer here, and I'm here for a Games I Bought video for March 2025, which I decided to have a slow, small, easy list of games, because I needed to start thinking of saving up my money for, like, you know, either replacements or when I need to start thinking of, you know, saving up my money for renewing my memberships, which I got like an extra 2 months on. But I still managed to pick up some extra stuff I wanted and carry on with stuff I might need for my PlayStation 5. And I have sorted out, pretty much all the PlayStation 5 games that are on my PlayStation Plus subscription, finally. So now I can finally start doing work on some projects which I'll have coming up in future on my GameSpot channel. So anyway, let's begin with the games I bought stuff. So starting with the games. So I'm gonna start with what I bought for the PS4 and 5. So for the PS4 I bought Borderlands: The Handsome Collection. This is a remastered package that includes Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel on PS4, which were originally PlayStation 3 games, which I have the PlayStation 3 versions of Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel. Now I've got the PlayStation 4 versions of those, which have their own trophy lists. And in these remasters, it includes all the DLC available all on the disc, and it's actually a pretty good package for what's on offer. The 2 games in one deal with all their DLC, and you're getting some absolute bang for your buck. I plan to get a physical copy of this if I saw it, and as well as that, I plan to get a physical copy of Borderlands 3 for the PS4, and the same thing for the PS5 when I'm ready. And I'll plan to get the season pass and all the DLC before I eventually decide to finally start going through it. So, oh well, good stuff. And I think also on the PS4 there's the remaster of the very first Borderlands game as well. Yeah, and I'll look forward to that. Looking forward to finding that, maybe. And now, next one, and the next is a PS5 game, which is Tales of Arise. The game one of my favorite games of 2021. And I have the PlayStation 5 version of this game. I have PlayStation 4 version of this game, and I platinum trophied it all the way through, including the Beyond the Dawn DLC. Now I got the PS5 version, and it was actually pretty cheap. I actually got the PS5 version of it for a good bargain. But it's a really Tales of Arise is an exceptional JRPG, Japanese anime role-playing game with the finest combat system, and with tons of depth to it, characters and the storyline like no other Tales game has ever done. Fantastic sequences which are now in fully 3D, using the engine, using the in-game engine, which was pretty substantial, by the way. The move to the Unreal Engine was a big deal for this series, considering its reliance on the PS3 dated PS3 hardware and the engine it was using. I can't remember what those other Tales games have used. Was it the Cryware engine or was it something else? I cannot remember. But either way, the move to the Unreal Engine was a game changer for the Tales series. And it does have the DLC Beyond the Dawn, which just adds 20 more hours of gameplay and stuff that you've already seen from the main game. In which the storyline in the main game is actually pretty substantial, dealing with, you know, new things unique to the storyline, like slavery, where you see the people of Dana being enslaved by the Renans, and you have to free the Danans, and eventually take up arms against the Renans and win back what was stolen from you. It's a really substantial Tales game, and it actually won like Best RPG award as well. So it's an exceptional game, and on the PS5 compared to the PS4 version, it runs fantastically smoother. It's a vastly much more detailed game, runs fantastically well, and I can't fault how good this game is. It's an exception. It's the rule that how to do an action JRPG really well. That no other JRPG on the PS5 has managed to either do well fantastically, and it's brilliant. Highly recommend it. It even got my 10 out of 10 review on my GameSpot channel. Like seriously, go read that. It's really good. Alright, and the last game I bought is a Game Boy Advance game, which is Breath of Fire 1. I've got Breath of Fire 2, I got Breath of Fire 3, I got Breath of Fire 2 on the Game Boy Advance, I got Breath of Fire 3 for the PSP, and Breath of Fire 4 for the PS1. Now I have the original one, Breath of Fire 1, which is it's the Game Boy Advance version, which it was a role-playing game from Capcom, and the SNES original, the Super Nintendo original, never came outside for Europe. But the version we got was on the game. But the version of the first game we did get was on the Game Boy Advance. And this Game Boy Advance port, sound stuff aside, like the music and the sound effects aside, this is a pretty solid port. It has some quality of life features like being able to dash, and you can actually see the improved interface, and being able to see the required experience points before leveling up, which was not seen in the SNES original for some reason. And it's a pretty standard role-playing game, turn-based role-playing game, where you level up, find new characters, get new characters that join your side, and you eventually get dragon transformations as well. And yeah, Breath of Fire is a standard role-playing game, and for the time on the Super Nintendo when it came out, I'm sure it was really impressive, because the battle animations were really top-notch at the time, compared to so many other role-playing games that were out on the Super Nintendo at the time. So good stuff. I'm actually happy that I got this. So I got all 4 of the Breath of Fire games now, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I don't have Dragon Quarter, which is the one on the PlayStation 2, but that game sucks. That game is awful. And it's no wonder why after that game, the series went dormant for like a decade or so. And they tried to return it with a crappy mobile phone game. Yeah. Need I say any more? So, I wanted to get a Pro Controller. You know, anything that could be used as a spare controller for the PS5. And I did. I came close. I came close to finding a good Pro Controller for a cheap price. And it was working fine for the week that I got it for. And I did a video on it. And here it is. This is the Pro Controller I got. This is the Pro wireless controller that I got. This one was actually pretty substantial. It was a controller that worked pretty well with both the PS3, PS4, PS5, although it required this little thing. It required a little wireless adapter to plug it into the system, press the thing, press and hold the share and PlayStation buttons for like a few seconds and it'll turn on. Yeah. And this thing worked pretty solid for the first couple of days I had it. I was really enjoying this controller. Then for some reason I started having like some analog stick issues, and I'm assuming this thing has got analog stick drift, and I'm thinking this thing might have analog stick drift. I may have to hand this over to my older brother to see if the analog stick on it can be fixed. And I'm assuming that maybe, and I did have a look inside it, and I've noticed it started to get really dirty inside. So I'm thinking either the dirt inside of it is affecting my analog stick, and I probably need to clean it. But I'm gonna hand this over to my brother, and see if we can sort it out. But either way, I did enjoy this thing when this thing was working. Like all the others, things responded pretty well. I was playing it with a lot of games with the with each of my PlayStation devices, my PS3, PS4, PS5, and also my PlayStation TV. I actually found another controller. Besides my Chromecast, which I use on my PS Vita TV. That actually works on my PlayStation Vita TV. So I'm actually now getting closer to finding controllers that actually serve like a purpose for like all different PlayStation consoles. So I'm getting there. I wanted to find a Pro PlayStation 5 Pro controller, because like all the ones they sell, like all the Pro ones, all the ones that at like these sort of like have this sort of Nintendo Switch, Xbox kind of feel to them. And I did try to find like cheap ones, but yeah, and the only best one I could have found was this one, but this one being like 50, was all the other ones were like 130, 150, 199-ish. Yeah, so I wanted to find cheaper ones, and this one worked because this one actually looks pretty neat. But this one, yeah, this one's been giving me a bit of problems. The analog drift, and this thing even lights up as well, and it's pretty neat. Yeah, and I do like playing around with the lights as well. Usually it has it like red or orange. So I'm hoping I can find some things of what's wrong with this controller. But if we can't get this thing fixed, we may have to discard it. But oh well, that's kind of a shame, because I really like this controller. This controller actually did look pretty good. and it would have been like a solid PlayStation 5 DualSense alternative, because I know like these DualSense controllers, these ones, this one's got my silicone skin, which I also bought, by the way. I also bought a silicone skin for my controller as well, and I also got another one there which I want to save for another DualSense, which I plan on getting. Yeah, so here it is. Here's the other one. Yeah, but anyway, these DualSense controllers, I know these things don't come cheap, so I wanted to find like cheaper alternatives. But including like a pro one that I could hope to use for multiplayer games on the PlayStation 4 and 5 that I want to do. But yeah, it sucks that this one is not working properly, and I did like the controller for what it was working with. Aside from this USB that it came with, this USB is just too small. Like, it's really too small to be considered reliable for charging. But I do have a spare USB-C to USB cable that I normally use, that I use for charging my controllers with. So yeah. I'm happy. But other than with the issues I have with it, it's a pretty substantial controller for what it functions. And plus, it has zero latency, it had zero issues and such. Yeah, so it was a decent controller for when it was working. Alright, and the last thing I recently got is something that I do need as a spare, is a 2-meter USB-C to USB-C cable, which I needed as a spare, as like an emergency USB-C to USB-C cable, in case I need it for my PS5 DualSense, in case the current one I'm using like breaks down or something. But you know, it's good to carry a spare, right? So I figured I'd get a spare one. And this one is actually pretty good. It's actually much longer than the one my PS1 5 uses, but that's pretty much okay. As long as I got a spare one like this, it's actually a pretty solid cable. So that is it for all the stuff that I've gotten. So I've got one game for the PS4, one game for the PS5, one Game Boy Advance game, one controller that almost functions pretty well, except I've got some issues that I'll probably need to sort it out with my brothers. I'm sure that if once I give it to them, and they'll see if they can fix it or repair it, and if not, oh well, we'll have to just consider an alternative. Oh well, what can I do? These analog sticks, I've heard, on DualSense controllers, I've heard they're not really well built compared to like controllers on like older consoles, because they're just fragile and they just break easily. And I was hoping for those things to last, and especially with standing controllers, you want them to last years or something. Oh well, it can't be out. So that is pretty much what I bought this month in March. Like I said, I didn't really buy much. I would have bought more games, but I think I'm really at a point where I just really need to start thinking of saving up money for, other new things I might want to consider getting. There's still things for the PS5 I do want to possibly consider. I still need to get a vertical stand for my PS5. And I'll have a look online, and I'm gonna look online to see which one I should possibly get. Either one with a cooling fan or just one with a standard stand for it. So that's the only thing I now need to get for my PS5. I've already got like a silicone glove for my silicone grip for the PS5 DualSense, and I've got a silicone skin for my DualSense, my other DualSense, and yeah, I'm actually happy with what I've got now, and I still need to think about also getting some more GTX Pro grips for all my other controllers that I need to, like, I probably need to get one for one of my PS3 controllers, and maybe one for one of my other PS4 controllers that I'm using, or one for my Xbox 360 controller that I may use in the future. I have decided to go back to my Xbox 360 because I don't really seem to care that much for my Xbox 360 nowadays. Or I don't know. Just anything else really that probably might need one. Any controller on my consoles that I think need some GTX Pro grips for that I like. But the main focus would be just to focus on getting maybe a vertical stand and see how much these things can go for, and I'll decide like the cheaper option. And then I'll start saving up my money for my next subscription, like putting some money on the side for a money subscription, as well as maybe consider taking a break from buying games and just enjoy some other activities with my carers. And as well as that, my review work. Now that I've gotten like all the PlayStation 5, PlayStation Plus subscription games. Now I can like get started on some new projects. I can now get started on like some new game review projects and some top 10 related stuff that I've been keeping on hold for like quite a long while. Like I may start some work on the top 10 Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance stuff that I haven't done get started on. And then I'll also need to consider thinking about like what games I want to boost on next. What old games that I should think about boosting on next. I know Multiverse is close to its deadline, like in the next month or two. That I'll have to consider like installing that game and start playing that. And on top of that, I'll need to start thinking of what other old games on the PlayStation 3 that I'm gonna like have to think about getting started on for multiplayer online stuff, gaming. Yeah, I got like a list of those. I got a list of those made. And as well as that, maybe think about an RPG to play. Like RPGs I've been putting on the side for like a long time now. Yeah, like I haven't done an RPG on my channel for like ages. And I'll have to think about going back to one of those eventually. Yeah, so there's still going to be like a lot to this game to consider getting through. But I'm still taking the time to enjoy my PS5, which I still am enjoying my new PS5. And there's still like 100 couple or so, 20 or 50 to 20 couple or so game reviews I still need to work on, and I'll be able to get to work on those reviews at some point. But other than that, yeah, there's a lot for me. I've still got like a ton of shit to do. So yeah, so updates are gonna be very slow. So things are gonna be slow, but I'll try and do my best for what I'm working with. So yeah. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed what I've gotten to show you, and hope you all enjoyed it. And if you liked it, give it a comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. So take care of yourselves, and goodbye.